Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
Hey, and good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift. Joining me in studio, Ipsy Ed Bonderenka.
And a good Saturday afternoon to you too, sir.
And to you, sir. I just realized that it's the middle of June, and I haven't been out on the boat yet. What is going on with our global warming?
It's called rainfall. Seriously, dude. It's so frustrating.
Water levels are up high. Really high, too.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't affect me so much as I just, between having to cut the grass every day, in between rainstorms, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't put any fertilizer down, put it that way. That'd be up to mine.
My goodness, yeah.
Yeah, you know it. Well, welcome to The Drift, and what we do every Saturday is put the news, talk about the news that we put on thedailydrift.com. It's the news
you need to know.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for the lead-in.
If you're not going there, you should. News from around the world, across the country, and even right here at home sometimes if it's interesting enough. So lots of things to talk about, but I guess we should probably take care of a little business.
Sure.
Take care of our sponsor this half hour. Brighton Center for the Performing Arts is hosting Fernando Ortega tonight.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, he's going to be doing some soul
Christian
music,
yeah,
and some really soulful arrangements of Christian music.
Yep.
So it should be very interesting. And if I didn't have plans, I would probably join you up there tonight. You're going?
Yep.
Yeah. And if you haven't been to the Brighton Center for the Performing Arts, right? This is at the Brighton High School. I've seen plays there. This Center for the Performing Arts in Brighton is as good as anything you'd get in downtown Chicago. The facility is amazing. If you haven't been there, it's really, really nice.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it even more now.
And the Brighton High School drama team, oh my gosh. You'd swear you're seeing something in Vegas or Broadway or whatever. They're good. You look at them and you go, these aren't kids.
Wow.
They're the Brighton Drama Club.
When are they going to do Hamilton?
I don't. That would be a good thing to suggest because I tell you what, that would probably be a good one. It's interesting. So tonight, 7 p.m., make sure you get up to the Brighton Center for the Performing Arts.
Doors open at 6:30.
Doors open at 6:30, and I'm
tickets online.
Tickets online at.
Go to thecurrentonline.com. Look up the June edition on page
12. Currentonline.com. COURANT online.com. Oh, there it is. 25 tones, TONES events.com for more info.
Yep.
I need to get my eyes checked again. Doggone it. Okay, well, tons of things to do. Oh, and I want to give a quick shout out. I didn't know. I called you earlier and didn't think if I was going to make it back in time to do the show. I had to take my car in, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know how long it was going to take. Pinckney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge. And if you're a Jeep lover like I am, you want to take care of your Jeep. Took my Jeep in to get some fluid changes before my trip, upcoming trip. And they were good. They're like, you don't need that, you don't need that, you don't need this. You're good to go, but you should do this. And they had me done and dropped me off, picked me up, shuttle, the whole 9 yards. And so shout out to the guys. Jake was my service rep, 734-878-3154. That's Pinckney, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Pinckney, Michigan on M36.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, they were awesome.
As far as you had said you may be late, and I didn't see the text that said you'd be on time. And then I'm listening to Dick. I always listen to Wham Radio, and I'm under this kitchen sink working, and I hear Dick say, "And we'll see you next week." And I thought,
late.
No. I had no idea you went back to a 1 hour show.
Yeah. So, we got a ton of things, and I want to start with the president. This is probably the biggie of the week. Interviewing with George Stephanopoulos. Sorry. That's not original. I stole that from Savage, right?
Stephalophagus.
Whatever his name is. He's a Clintonista, right? Let's just be honest about it. But the mainstream media they take things so out of context. They try to make everything the president says look bad. And I want you to hear this track. And this is the one because the media made it sound like, yes, Donald Trump will take foreign intel on his rivals in the political
collusion.
campaign. Right. And I want you to listen carefully to what he says. This is the whole thing, not the snippet you're going to get at MSM or
LGBT,
MSNBC, whatever you call it, CNN, the liars in the media, right? Derek, you got track one? Go ahead and play that.
Well, that's different. A stolen briefing book. This isn't a stolen. This is somebody that said, we have information on your opponent. Oh, let me call the FBI. Give me a break. Life doesn't work that way.
The FBI director says that's what should happen.
The FBI director is wrong.
Your campaign this time around, if foreigners, if Russia, if China, if someone else offers you information on an opponent, should they accept it or should they call the FBI?
I think maybe you do both. I think you might want to listen. There's nothing wrong with listening. If somebody called from a country, Norway, we have information on your opponent.
Norway.
Oh, I think I'd want to hear it.
You want that kind of interference in our elections?
It's not an interference. They have information. I think I'd take it. If I thought there was something wrong, I'd go maybe to the FBI if I thought there was something wrong. But when somebody comes up with Oppo research, right, they come up with Oppo research. Oh, let's call the FBI. The FBI doesn't have enough agents to take care of it. But you go and talk honestly to congressmen. They all do it. They always have. And that's the way it is. It's
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Stephalakakis, let me ask you this. How about paying for opposition research from the Russians like Hillary Clinton did?
Yeah, ask that same question of Hillary or of Mueller or of anybody on the lib side. If somebody comes to you, what is the problem with listening to them if you haven't actually made a tit-for-tat deal with them? Yeah. Obviously, it's like I read something on Facebook. I don't immediately reprint that. I mean, I have, granted.
We all make
but
mistakes,
now I don't. Yeah. I actually look at, that sounds really good. I research it, say, and I got to put in a comment, hey, you've been had, you've been pranked, or it's the Onion of all things, It's the first thing. Folks, pro tip, look for the words Babylon Bee or the Onion, when somebody puts up something outrageous.
Let's take a call from, it's Nick, one of the Dream Team guys, one of my friends on Twitter. Nick, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Yep, from the Dream Team, and
So, Nick, you've always got some great comments on Twitter. You're one of my favorite guys to follow. And what were your thoughts? You heard all this garbage from the MSM this week based on the George Stephanopoulos interview. What's your thoughts when it comes to intel, foreign intel, and opposition research?
I'd probably just take the dirt. Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? Well,
they're trying to make it sound like Hillary didn't.
Right.
Well, she paid for it.
I don't believe that.
Yeah. And let me stop you right there for a minute. So Derek, do me this. Swiss Army knife Derek is going to go online. There is a YouTube video of Adam Schiff, of all people, talking to these two guys. He's assuming he's picking up dirt on Trump from Russia.
Yeah.
Right?
You had
Derek,
that
see if you can
before.
find that, because we're going to play that for Mr. Pencil Neck, Adam Schiff, right now, and let it go on from there. Because you're right, Nick. I think I would take it unless I know it's...
Unless it was something dangerous, I mean...
Yes.
Well, you take it and you look at it and you say, can this be real? It's good to get a tip, and then you can't be Trump and come out and say something outrageous that is going to get fact-checked. It's going to blow up in your face. So you look at it, you say, is this true? And then if you find out it's true, then you use it.
Right.
That's business. But if they come to you and say, hey, look, if you'll give us, we'll give you this dirt on Hillary if you'll give us free access to Saudi Arabia oil fields, well, that's collusion.
Right. Or if you're paying for it, like Hillary flat out paid for the fusion, the Steele dossier.
Oh, but it's so contorted. The way these liberal pundits contort that, they make it sound like she really didn't. It was actually McCain that paid for it, and other people paid for it, and she just took advantage of it.
Right.
She didn't deal with the Russians directly.
Yeah. So Nick, let me ask you this: you heard him, the president, say the FBI director Wray is, and I don't believe FBI director Wray is a good guy. I really do not.
Well, look at the history. Look at the history of who have been FBI directors. No lib the first guy, Hoover, right? They all say he was over the line, mock him. And then Comey, he was a bad agent. You know, Mueller was in charge of the FBI. Supposedly he was upset that Trump turned him down for the agency after he bagged Comey. So that's why he went on with the Mueller, with a vengeance on the Mueller reports. And Mueller's not a good guy either. That's been proven.
Right. So Nick, you're on Twitter way more than I am.
Oh.
How about, what have you seen? Do you know anything that you've seen about Director Wray? And I know you see the same stuff I do. Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
The storm is coming.
It's just constant in and out focus on Clapper and Comey and Snoffalopoulos or Snoffagophagus or whatever the heck you want to call him. I kind of think that they're going to jail.
So you believe? Are you feeling confident? I want to hope and I pray that, but I'm not feeling super confident.
Not feeling super confident. No, not super confident, but I have a feeling that if things go the way that it looks, if they keep looking into the intel, there might be some arrests out of that.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping so. So, Nick, give me one more thing. I'm kind of listening to your accent. Where are you from?
I'm from West Virginia.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not that far down. All right. So I could hear a slight twang, just a little bit of one. All right. Well, Nick, make sure you call in again, man. Love having you on.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for all you do, brother. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Nick's one of my favorite guys to follow on Twitter, and just good. Follow me. You'll see him on there. He's on my timeline all the time.
You ever follow Conservative Treehouse?
I go to some of their articles. I'm always kind of sketchy on those.
Okay, well, they've got some graphics up of 3 different pictorials with the running totals of indictments so far of the swamp.
And
I can summarize them for you.
Yes, please do.
0, 0, and under bar, 0.
And you know what?
And that's discouraging.
So I am worried because a lot of us are waiting on Huber, right, out of Utah area, who's allegedly doing something. But then something Barr said made me think that there's really nothing going on with Huber.
The IG report is getting postponed another month.
That could be a good thing, right?
Yeah,
maybe
because
they're finding more.
They're finding more information, and it's muddy in the waters. So it's like, oh, please. And there's 22 Republicans who've written a letter to Trump. Please, just flat out, you're being sandbagged by your administration, by the swamp lackeys that work for you. They're not being clear and open. Please just order right now. Give them a directive. You must declassify these FISA documents. They haven't done it yet. They're dragging their feet. These guys are slow walking the president, and he's got other big fish he's cooking, and there's just so much you can do, and you expect your subordinates to implement what you want, and the swamp doesn't want that. They're just outweighting him, hoping he loses in 2020.
Right. I don't understand. I would think Barr was the guy, and I think so many of us are hoping for that, but you're right. Still 0. I'm going to try and be patient.
Barr may be meticulous, and he may be waiting on his guys.
Yeah, he could be waiting on Durham, right? That's the new big hope. I hope we're not just blown in the wind here.
Yeah.
But
smoke and mirrors.
I did read something this week that Durham's office expanded. They moved into a bigger office because his scope of investigation is expanding.
He might have had a better view of the river. I don't know.
Why do you got to ruin it for me,
sorry.
man?
That's why I don't get invited to parties.
All right. So, well, if you want to call into the show, 734-822-1600, and comment on this or anything else that happened this week, please feel free.
Oh, there's an open invitation to Joe.
or if you're too shy to call into the show and be on the radio, email me, Gary@thedailydrift.com, and I'll be happy to read your comments on air. We get stuff from Joanne regularly down in Ohio, too. So, Joanne, if you're listening, you got something, email it to me. But were you surprised that the president allowed, of all people, to come in and interview George Stephanopoulos? Sloppy, whatever he is, sloppy journalistic.
Well,
George.
let's remember that he was, like you said, a Clintonista. He was Bill Clinton's press secretary.
Yes.
He was comparative to Trump's Sarah Sanders. So this guy basically was a spokesman for the Clintons.
And still
let's
is.
just say he's exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah,
you made my point.